Hello and welcome to another edition of the TES Secondary Maths Resource of the Week with me, Craig Barton. Now, those of you who have been watching these Resource of the Week over the last, let's say 12 months or so, hopefully will have noticed a bit of a trend that I've been trying to dip into the wonderful world of primary maths resources on TES. Because I'll tell you what, if you're a secondary maths teacher watching this, it is a flipping untapped gold mine of quality. Because I've been guilty of this for many years of my career, I'm quite ignorant of the kind of maths and the level of complexity of maths that happens in primary schools. And of course that's terrible because it means I can't teach my year 7s and 8s as effectively as I want to because I'm not aware of their mathematical journey, what they know, what they don't know, and so on. So I've really made a conscious effort for my own teaching and also trying to share it with TES users of some of the quality resources that there are in primary maths and how we can make use of them for our year 7s, year 8s, year 9s, even year 10s, depending on the suitability and so on. So this is one of the best I've seen. What went wrong? Now, autumn year 6, it's actually a series of resources this, but I'm just going to dip into one of them from the autumn term for year 6. And it's a single Word file, but it's flipping brilliant. So let's have a look at it. Basically, it is a series of sheets, so there are 13 of these, 13 scenarios, and the first thing I like, especially those of you who are struggling with a photocopy bill, as our department is, each scenario is put on a single sheet of A4 and repeated loads of times. So if you've got a class of, say, 30, you can actually, 3 sheets will do for one scenario here. But I should say as well, there is no reason that you actually need to print these out. There's nothing wrong with just projecting a scenario up on the board and getting kids to discuss it in the way I'm going to suggest in a second. So that's the first thing to say. It's going to be cheap to either photocopy or bang it up on the board, save yourself a load of money, full stop. So what are these scenarios? Well, basically, it's a student attempting a load of problems. They've given an answer, and the question is what went wrong. So it starts off really, really simple here. So we've got Eve. Eve is asked whether, help if I could read, 607,412 is greater or less than that. She writes this down, what went wrong. So the idea is, and without stating the obvious here, that kids have to consider this scenario and decide what the error was, or even if there is an error, justify it and correct it. Now, I have a preference for things like this. In the past, I reckon I've made a mistake. I reckon I've dived into this discussion element too quickly. So what I would do in the past is I would bang this up on the board and I'd say, right, anybody got any ideas? Where did Eve go wrong? Blah, 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 blah. The problem with that is it's not all the kids are involved in it. And I'm absolutely obsessed. I mentioned this last week when I was discussing the angles resource. I'm obsessed with this moment or moments of silent contemplation. I think it's so important that there's no noise, no discussion initially, and every single child gets time to take it all in, read it at their own speed, think about it, think what they're going to say, and so on, before we get these discussions that can be so useful. So I would bang this up on the board. As I say, I'm a bit tight when it comes to photocopying. Give the kids a minute, 2 minutes, whatever I feel is suitable for the class to discuss it. To think about it on their own in silence, and then maybe discuss with the partner, with the person next to them, and then maybe let's open it out to a whole class discussion. And there's loads of these, and we'll talk about how we could make use of the different ones in a second. But again, we get another kind of place value issue there, which is really, really nice. I love this one here. That symbol there. Woo-hoo. Anyway, I'll let you enjoy that one on your own when you look for it. Bit of rounding going on here, but I just want to highlight a different one a bit further down. Rounding to the nearest 10. That's really, really nice. I like these. Then we get some negative numbers. This is a good one. Temperature in the morning is 3 degrees. Temperature at night is -3. Mona says the temperature has dropped by 10 degrees. What went wrong? So notice what it is here. It's highlighting common misconceptions. Can students identify the misconception? Can they explain the misconception? Can they correct the misconception? Wonderful, wonderful skills. And project on the board or print these out. So negative numbers. We get some column addition there. That's a particularly nice one. That's something I see a fair bit. This is good. Oh, I know I'm getting a bit obsessed with this resource here, but look at this one here. Quick calculations. Adel has to work out 112 take 99. He knows he can change 99 to 100 and then adjusting. He gets the answer 11. What went wrong? That's really nice. This idea that it's an efficient subtraction strategy, but something's gone wrong in the process there. Can kids pick up what's gone wrong, why it's gone wrong, and then suggest an alternative way of doing it? So really, really nice. There's 13 of these. How can we make use of them? So there's two options really. One is to use them all at the same time. So have a kind of what went wrong lesson, maybe at the end of term, maybe in preparation for an exam or something like that. And that's absolutely fine. I think that's really good. It's a really good kind of use of time. It gets kids thinking about this all in one go. But I think this is something kids should be thinking about regularly. This idea of identifying misconceptions, explaining misconceptions, resolving misconceptions is such an important thing. It's such an important part of mathematical thinking. So what went wrong, I think, needs to be drip-fed regularly. So I'm making a conscious effort now to use these at least once a week with my Year 7 classes. Now, this is a great kind of baseline of scenarios to use with kids, but it's not that tricky to make up your own for these. And again, teachers will be doing this regularly, and I've dabbled in the past, but I think it's about this regular routine. It's about, and for me, it's about the structure. What went wrong at the end? Describe a scenario. This is how they've done it. What went wrong? Project it up on the board. Kids a few minutes to think on their own. Couple of minutes discussion. Whole class discussion. Let's move on. Kids are loving it. I think it's really, really nice. You've also got the option, and I sound like a broken record sometimes or always on a Resource of the Week, to get kids to do their own. And what a great thing to do. You finish the topic, whatever it is, maybe it's fractions, adding fractions, get kids to write their own what went wrong for homework or an end of lesson activity. And it's brilliant, again, to get then kids thinking about common misconceptions. And then if they do produce them, we've then got an activity to use with that class, swapping each other's what went wrongs, or to use with future classes. So it's great for that, and it's a great revision activity as well. Say, for example, you've got a Year 11 class and they're coming up to GCSE, allocate one topic to every single kid and get them to create their own what went wrong. And then you've got to put them together in a booklet. You've got a revision booklet, what went wrong for kids discussing common misconceptions and so on. So such a simple idea. It can be used exactly as it is now, but once again, it's the resource that keeps giving. It's flipping brilliant. You can use it with any topic, any year group and so on. I absolutely love this one. So hope you found that useful. If you did, hop back on here, explain how you've used it, give a little bit of thanks to the author, and I shall return with a fresh Resource of the Week next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.